My name is Tony. In this video, I made a mini DevOps project as my portfolio and will demonstrate end-to-end CI/CD pipeline starting from backend application, containerization, infrastructure as a code, and of course CI/CD automation. You can see the overview in this README file architecture diagram. The source code will be stored in GitHub repository, and with GitHub Action, it will run pipeline to build, test, and deploy the backend application into the Elastic Kubernetes service. And for the infrastructure side, I will use AWS that will be managed by Terraform as infrastructure as a code. For the application that running inside EKS clusters, it will have two replicas behind load balancers, so it will have high availability since the beginning. That was a quick overview. Now let's go through each section in more detail based on the point I mentioned earlier. For the backend, I use Go. It is known for its speed, efficiency, and small binary size, making it a good choice for building lightweight and scalable microservices. In this service, I implemented two main endpoints. The first one is health endpoint that will be used by Kubernetes to check liveness probe and readiness probe to maintain its life cycle and auto scaling. And the second endpoint is info endpoint. This will return service metadata. The other thing I put consideration in this backend service is a logging format. So I set the logging to write in JSON format. It will be helpful in production observability, so we can query, we can create a metric based on this structure logging. And then I also put a graceful shutdown handling with capture the SIG term, because in Kubernetes it's crucial because pod in Kubernetes can be terminated anytime. And the last one in this backend service is I use environment variable to set the configuration, so there will no sensitive configuration information written hard-coded in the backend service. For containerization, I'm using Docker with multi-stage build. With the first stage is using Golang Alpine as builder, and in this stage I compile source code into static binary with CGO disabled, so it will have no dependency to system binary. Second stage is using Alpine minimal. It will just copy the binary from the first stage, and the result image size will be very small compared to if we use a single stage build. And the more important thing is this container will run as a non-root user, but we will use a user with UID 1000. And the binary will run as entry point, so it will have a PID 1. It will ensure that signal handling will run correctly in the Kubernetes. That's for the containerization. In Kubernetes manifest, I'm defining the deployment with two replicas for high availability. Every pod have resource requests and limits that already set. This is important so Kubernetes scheduler can do right placement and prevent noisy neighbor. This liveness probe will ensure that pod that stuck will be automatically restarted, and this readiness probe will ensure that the request will only send to the pod that ready to serve the request. The service type I use this is load balancer. In AWS, it will automatically provision Elastic Load Balancer that will expose the application to the internet. That's for the Kubernetes manifest. Now I'm moving to Terraform infrastructures. Every infrastructure I use here is managed by Terraform, and I split each configuration into separate file so I can easily maintain it later. I will start with this VPC. I create a VPC with only two public subnet in different availability zone. For this project, I intentionally using only public subnet without private subnet and prevent using NAT gateway to maintain the cost of this demo. Since this demo is not using sensitive data or database that require to put in private subnet, so I avoid using private subnet and NAT gateway. Then for IAM configuration, here I'm following the principle of least privilege. So there will be separate row for cluster and node group. Each has only permission that it need to use. For the container repository or ECR, I put the lifecycle policy to retain only certain number of image to maintain the storage cost. For the AKS cluster, I use manage nodes group with instance type T3 small and auto scaling configuration with minimum 1 instance, desired capacity 2 instance, and maximum capacity 4 instance. I choose this managed group because AWS will handle the patching and lifecycle management in the nodes. All the parameters that can be changed will set using variables like region, instance type, scaling config, so there is no hardcode value. And this configuration can be reused for different environment. All the Terraform state will be stored at S3 storage with DynamoDB locking. This is standard practice for team collaboration to prevent concurrent state modification. And the last configuration I have before running the real demonstration is the GitHub workflow files that will be used in GitHub Action. And in this configuration, I have 3 jobs that will be run sequentially. The first job here is build and test. It will compile the Go code, run the unit test, build the Docker image, and then start the container and hit the hold endpoint. If there's a one file step, the pipeline will end here. The second job is push to ECR. So, in this job, it will authenticate to the AWS, log into ECR, and then take the image with the commit SHA. Then it will push it to the ECR. And the final job is deploy to EKS. It will update the kubeconfig, replace image stage in the Kubernetes manifest using set, then do kubectl apply. and then it will verify the deployment with rollout status. If deployment failed, then the pipeline is also failed. And as you can see here, every secret and variables is not hard-coded to this file. All is saved at GitHub secret and variable settings. So no secret will be shown in the log or in the files. And now I will do the live demo. First, I will check the cluster status with this kubectl command. Yes, as you can see, there's unable to connect before I trigger the pipeline, so there's no service that running on the clusters. And for the infrastructure side, I already preserved all the infrastructure needed using Terraform. Oh wait, yeah, the app plan press only. Yeah, as you can see, there's all the infrastructure is preserved here. Then now I will only need to re-trigger the pipeline so the service will be run on the AKI's cluster. I will use this commit message as live demo, and then we'll see that on the GitHub. Yeah, I will refresh this. Oh, I didn't push that. Yep, okay, already pushed. Then we see, okay, here is pipeline for live demo is already run, and we will wait until the pipeline is complete. Okay, the pipeline is complete, all green, no error. So now I will check again on the cluster status. Okay, service mini DevOps backend. Okay, now I can get the service from Kubernetes cluster, and then I will check this endpoint. Yeah, it can be accessed, and the second endpoint is API v1 info. Yeah, all the endpoint is can be accessed. Then maybe we'll check the logs. Okay, as you can see, this the log format is using JSON, so it will be easily query. It will be easily used as a metric on the log aggregator like CloudWatch, Elk, or Datadog. So that is my mini DevOps project, end to end from the code to the deployment fully automate using infrastructure as code with security concern and cost optimization. Like using ECR lifecycle policy, so the storage will not bloated, and I'm not using NAT gateway since this is the POC, so I can save cost more, and I set the auto scaling with reasonable limit, and using easy to instance with a small workload like three small instance. And for other reference, we can use combined pricing type in the EC2. Like for a regular workload, we can use reserve instance, and for the burst request, we can use spot instance, so we can saving more cost on the specific case. That's all my demonstration on this video. I will be happy to get more interaction with you. Thank you and bye.